moving to California has its benefits. Look at the view behind me. Just take a moment to look at the view behind me. Magnificent views here at the Hilltop Park in Signal Hill, which is basically Long Beach, California, and out again in nature enjoying the views, and wanted to share that with you guys. Speaking of views, make sure you hit subscribe and join the family. If you hear the sound of airplanes, it's because the airport is literally right behind. So there are commercial and there are private planes flying all about. So if you hear the airplane sounds, enjoy them if they're soothing. If not, disregard. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and tap that bell, that notification bell, so that you never miss an upload. As you know, the goal is to do it every week for the next 10 years. We've stayed on track for the most part, and if we miss a week, we will double up in another week so that we continue to move forward. Even if for some reason you miss a day or you miss a beat, it's okay. Just don't quit. If you want to contact me, you know you can always email me. I speak at ramonajsmith.com. That is my email address. You can find me on Instagram at ramonajsmith1. And of course, you already know you can text me 216-309-2341. Text the word SPEAK to 216-309-2341. I want to talk about something that is a little testy today, something a lot of people don't really want to talk about, something a lot of people avoid, something a lot of people just don't feel comfortable doing, and that is asking for help, especially in hard times. Asking for help. Many of us pride ourselves on being independent. We pride ourselves on being able to do everything on our own. We don't want to ask anybody for help because we don't want to look weak, or maybe we just feel like we're a burden and we just don't want to do it. And I know it's difficult, especially as we get higher up in age, in our 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, still having to ask people for help. It doesn't really feel good, especially because we live in a very independent society. We live in a society that says do it on your own, make it on your own, have it on your own. You don't need anybody's help. Self-made. We live in a self-made society instead of a more communal society, like a community tribe-based society. Everybody wants to be self-made and do it on his or her own. For me, I am the complete opposite. I know that that's a plane. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's one of those private planes. But for me, that is completely the opposite. I would never say I was self-made. I would never say I got anywhere on my own. I've had so much help over the years from mentors, from godparents, from family, friends. Some of you watching this right now have helped me, and I appreciate that. And I know that if I wouldn't have asked for help, it would have made it 10 times harder to get where I wanted to be. 10 times harder to get where I wanted to be, because when I look back on things, and I look back on the situations that I was in, of course, eventually you were able to pull yourself out of a hole or out of a bad situation, but it would have taken me on a completely different route than what I'm actually on now. And so I'm so very grateful for all the people who have helped me and supported me, whether it was emotionally, whether it was financially, whether it was verbally just giving me words, whether it was spiritually saying a prayer for me or carrying me to church. There are so many people who have given me rides when I didn't have a car. There's so many people who helped me bounce back when I went through my divorce. There's so many people, and I know one of y'all watching this, you're one of those people. I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much. I would not be where I am if I had not asked for help. Why is it so hard to ask for help? Because we feel shameful, because we feel guilty, especially if it was a situation that we put ourselves in. For example, I used to be a job quitter, like an infamous job quitter. If I quit my job and I can't pay my bills, that's nobody's fault but my own. I didn't get laid off, I didn't get fired, nothing crazy happened. I voluntarily quit this job, which means I don't have significant income coming in anymore, and I have to move in with someone, or I have to ask for help. It's humiliating. You can feel guilty, you can feel ashamed, and who wants to hear someone reiterate the shame? Well, you know, she had to move back home because she quit her job, or You know, you can't be doing what you want to do. This is my house. Nobody wants the rules, the regulations, and the restrictions. I get that. And nobody wants their faults or their mistakes thrown back up in their face. I feel like that's one of the reasons why we do not ask for help, because we don't want to hear the nonsense. We don't want to have to tuck our heads down and listen to whatever the other person has to say. We just don't want to put ourselves back in a position where we can be embarrassed, or where people are going to question who we are and question our professionalism and question our adulthood. That's not a good feeling. I get that. Another reason why we don't ask for help, a big one, is because a lot of us feel like we are putting a burden on someone else. If I have to move in with someone, and these are just examples, there are plenty other ways to ask for help without living with someone, but if I move in with someone, I'm going to be an extra person in the house. The light bill's gonna go up. The water bill's gonna go up. The food bill is gonna go up. I'm gonna be in the way, or what if they just have all these rules that I have to follow, or what if we clash? Nobody wants to have to feel like they're an inconvenience to anyone else. And instead of letting them tell us no, we'll not even ask. We will tell ourselves everything that we think they would say so that we don't have to ask. I feel like I'm a burden. Maybe they don't have the space. Maybe they don't have the money. Maybe they just don't feel like dealing with another grown person. But we are overthinking for them and not allowing them the opportunity to help us. That's another reason why we don't ask for help, is because we have assumed that we're asking for too much, so we won't make the ask at all. I completely understand, but I also know for sure that the people who are willing to help you, one, they're not looking for anything in return. Of course, do what you can. Do what you can. If someone helps you, repay them. If someone helps you when you get back on your feet, make sure you give back, or say thank you, and always be grateful, gracious, and thankful and respectful. But the people who really want to help us, most of the time, they don't want anything back in return. Because most of us have experienced hard times, and we can empathize with that situation. Most of us know that, hey, money is up and down. Even if you have a lot of it, it's still up and down. We know that people experience hard times. We know that people go through things in life, and as they say, life be lifing sometimes. So whether it was your fault, not your fault, the people who really want to help you, doesn't matter. Another reason why we should ask for help is because it takes a whole lot of stress off of you when that problem is solved. Whatever the problem is that you need help with, when somebody comes in and, I'm not gonna say save the day, but when someone comes in and gives you that help and that support that you need, whether it's paying a bill, whether it's taking care of your children, whether it is giving you an encouraging word, whatever the support is, it takes so much stress off of you when you just ask for the help and they give it to you. And you would never know if they were going to give it to you or not if you don't make the ask. I remember when I was just having I had just had my son, and things didn't work out with me and his dad. And I asked my godparents, hey, can I stay with you guys and get on my feet? They said yes. They said yes. And although there were about 8 of us in that house, it was a huge house, but there were 8 of us in that house. And the biggest thing that we all didn't have to worry about was the mortgage. We didn't have to worry about the mortgage because the mortgage was taken care of. We didn't have to worry about all the bills because the bills were taken care of. We didn't have to worry about furniture and landscaping and all the things that come with having your own. We could take a moment, take a breath, recollect, strategize, and figure out what the next move is. Because when you are under pressure, because you have a lot going on, you have a lot of stress, you have things that you don't know how to figure out, when you are in a stressful situation, it's very hard to think clearly. And that's why a lot of us make snap decisions without being able to think it through, because we just need to survive. I call that being in survival mode, where you just have to make a move right now. You don't have time to think about it, you got to make a move right now. Moving in with my godparents alleviated those issues for me. I didn't have to worry about a lot of things. I actually asked my godmother, I said, because it was me and my son, in addition to a bunch of me and my god siblings and their children and all that good stuff. It was just a big, beautiful tribe. And I asked my godmother, I said, do you want me to get a job so I can help more with the bills, or do you want me to go to school? She said, go to school. And that changed my life. Not only could I go to school and focus on school and not have to worry about working and school and trying to spend time with my son and trying to have sanity. All I had to do was worry about going to school and taking care of my son. It eliminated so much stress, and I was able to finally, that's one of the reasons why I was able to finally go back and finish the first time, because I started at community college. I was able to live with my godparents until I finished my degree, and then I was on to my next degree. But when I got my associate's degree, I was living with my godparents. It was about 8 of us in that house, but it was some of the best times that I ever had. Another thing about asking for help is you don't have to go through it alone. Ooh, sometimes it's even more painful to go through tough times by yourself. I'll kick it back to my godparents example, and living in this big beautiful home with all these different people and personalities and kids, and it was amazing. Because even if you have a bad day, it's hard to have a bad day. You live with children, because they're gonna say something funny, they're gonna do something funny, and it was just the best of both worlds. Because my son was the youngest at the time. I think Ryan was just a couple of weeks old, maybe going on 2 months, and then I had nieces and nephews who were like 8, 9, 10, and then I had my god sister who was about my age, and I had my god brother who was just a little bit younger, so he brought the hip, the cool, the slang and all that stuff. And then you have your godparents, this beautiful married couple, and they're just amazing, and we would do family things together. It was, oh man, I could talk about that for days. But asking for help helps you not have to go through things alone. I know it's difficult. I know it's challenging, especially if you are grown up, if you are over the age of 18 or over the age of 21, if you've experienced freedom before, you've experienced having your own before, and then it's kind of like you have to backtrack and live with someone for a little while, or ask someone for help in any capacity. I know it doesn't feel good, but think about the benefits. Think about the benefits of having just a short amount of time to get yourself together, to bounce back, or having just a short amount of help so that it can boost you up to the next level and take away some of that stress that you are dealing with because you will not ask for help. That is all I have for today. I encourage you to surround yourself with a circle and not a cage. I saw that in the book yesterday. A circle instead of a cage. If you have people in your circle that are solid, you can go to them for support. The circle may open up, the circle may close. The circle, you can bring people in and bring people out, but it is a solid circle and a solid circular foundation of people who love you and support you. A cage, on the other hand, you feel trapped. You feel trapped, you don't feel heard, you don't feel seen. Are the people in your life your circle or your cage? If you feel like it's more of a cage, you are less inclined to ask for help. But if you feel like you are in a circle of supportive people, you will know that even if you make a mistake, even if you get a little bit behind, even if you need a little bit more direction, you can go to your circle of support and they will help you out, instead of feeling like you're trapped in a cage and you're by yourself and nobody understands you and nobody cares and nobody will want to help you anyway. Keep that in mind. It doesn't have to necessarily always be family. It could be friends, it could be mentors, it could be business partners, it could be strangers who will eventually become friends. But get a circle instead of a cage. You can subscribe if you like what you hear. I got more videos like this. You'll see it at the end of this video. But hit that subscribe button to join our family for your weekly dose of positivity, for your weekly dose of inspiration. You can always text me, 216-309-2341. Text the word SPEAK. You can always email me, ispeak@ramonajsmith.com. ispeak@ramonajsmith.com. Would love to come speak to your organizations, to your groups, to your students, and give them some of this wisdom, knowledge, and motivation that I have gained over the years. I'm so excited for spring. It's daylight savings time, so we lost an hour. I feel it just a little bit. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all next time.
I'm a world champion, baby. I bet I can breathe that.